Ryan Reynolds appeared on the podcast Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, where he said this nugget.
And then, so that's where I got the lesson to never apologize. Never.
And if you're listening right now,
ground.
Don't.
Ugh. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively continue their publicity tour where they pretend like they've done nothing wrong. They're innocent Hollywood celebrities. Leave them alone. Don't ask them certain questions because they've got nothing to say. They're the victims. Look, I'm not trying to pile on these two. We are covering other stories. We're covering the Diddy trial, and I hope you guys are watching that as well. We'll be doing recaps every night, talking about that story as well. Cassie just took the stand. We're paying attention throughout the day. But I did want to focus on this because it's frustrating me because, look, I'm not trying to pile on to Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively hate. I don't hate them. I'm angry with them. I'm frustrated with them because they refuse to take accountability and they are using their Hollywood power to just stomp on people. And then they're using people I like, Conan O'Brien, to like put out their message and make it seem like there's nothing wrong. We're still big names. And they are, sadly, they are going to be big names, but they got away with something, or so far they've gotten away with something that I'm just not okay with. And I'm going to continue to call it out. And this appearance, he said a lot of stuff that I'm just frustrated. Like, why are you out there doing this stuff? You really need the attention this badly to go out there and do a whole therapy session about your dad? It's all just so weird, which he goes into about his dad seemingly was a bully. His dad's dad was a bully. I don't think, it's too far off to say you've done some bullyish things yourself. You're revealing all this to us. So of course we're allowed to react and respond and engage. And there was a part near the end that was very telling to me. And I want to play on this part about Ryan Reynolds not punching down. Really, Ryan? Come on. I liked you, Ryan. I'm so frustrated by all this. Why did you get yourself so involved in this? Why did you let Blake go do this lawsuit? Now all your friends are getting deposed. I've heard there's a lot of people in your court who are extremely frustrated by all this, and there's going to be some truths that you may not want to hear. But let's get into what he said and why it's so hypocritical. You ready for this? Here it was.
And it was 22 years ago, and it was such a lesson.
So he's sorry. Let me start it again. He's talking about how he's
the reason I love you is that you don't punch down. Like, it's not your vibe, and it's a good.
Oh no, I would very much like to be the joke.
These are the best targets. Yes, me too. Like I've done it. I did it once in my life, and I deeply regretted it. And it was 22 years ago, and it was such a lesson that I'll never forget. And
22 years ago, once was when he punched down, and he's trying to tell us he's never done it again. He did it once, 22 years ago. What's that, like 2003, sorry, where he was not even doing anything popular. Maybe Blade Trinity was about to come out. Van Wilder had come out. That's the one time you did it, right after Van Wilder. Do you guys believe that?
Yeah. So something on Late Night, but it was a little bit like when the comedian or the guy with the microphone starts picking on someone, and you're just like, they don't have a microphone as well. It's not fair, and it's and it just that was left a mark that I'll never ever.
Yeah, you can't
forget.
If you think you've really hurt someone's feelings, you can't. As crazy as it sounds, and you're in comedy, if you really think you've hurt someone's feelings, unless it's Mussolini or Stalin.
Oh, fuck. How did you know?
You have trouble. Like, you can't sleep.
Yeah.
You wake up and you're just,
wide awake. It was, and the person.
So Conan, you clearly, I've met Conan, the nicest guy in the world. Doesn't want to make enemies with anybody. Plays nice to everybody. It's why I'm not mad at him here. He doesn't want to get into drama and people's drama. He's not some drama hound, clickbaiter. He just wants to have real conversations with people. And I'm sure Ryan's been good to him. That's what he sees. So yeah, he's not going to pick a side on this. I got no beef with this. But Ryan, my man, you bring this whole topic up while clearly ignoring the elephant in the room where you have punched down on Justin. Let's not forget all that you've done. And while you are clearly tense dodging this, which you are, let's start with Nice Pool. That's not punching down, my man. That had nothing to do with Justin, really. That wasn't an opportunity for you to take your biggest movie ever and use it as an opportunity to take punches down at someone lower than you, the director of that independent movie at the time, Justin Baldoni. That wasn't punching down?
And it gets worse. I wrote a long note to the person afterwards, and I said, I don't know why that came out of my mouth. And it was because I'd seen them like a couple days before.
Yes.
near the apartment I was renting in Santa Monica. This is so long ago. And I wrote a long letter to him, sent him a case of champagne. I don't know. I was young. No one drinks champagne, right? I don't know. Later, I read a story about his wife saying that he fell off the wagon back in June. And I had no idea. This was before, you don't just Google someone.
Yeah, why not? Yes, you could.
No.
So you mocked him, and then your apology was to send him the substance that he had successfully kicked.
Fuck me. And then so that's where I got the lesson to never apologize. Never.
And if you're listening right now,
ground.
Don't apologize.
It's like, it's not funny to me because he's currently doing it. That's what's so frustrating. Typically, I would just, if I didn't know all the information, I'd laugh along with him and be like, ha ha ha, Ryan's so funny and self-depreciating. And look at him really being hard on himself. But like, listen to that story and think for a moment what he actually did there. He did punch someone down, unclear who it is, sleuthers, let's figure it out. Punch someone down, and it gives him champagne. Granted, okay, I'll accept maybe that was an accident, which puts him back on the wagon. And then this whole thing is just like, oh, I never did it since. It left such a mark on me. I never wanted to do that again. Okay, let's go through. Who called Justin a thin-skinned outrage over the horrific characterization of fake feminist Nice Pool, which reports are that you did shoot later in production, Ryan. Nice Pool may have been around, but you clearly morphed him into little jokes about Justin because, you like to punch down. That is the literal definition of punching down. Justin, wasn't as famous at you at that point, and I guess had some issue with your wife, so you chose to use your biggest Marvel platform with Hugh Jackman and everything to make a whole character that makes fun of him and mocks him. But no, he only punched down that one time 22 years ago, guys. Why do you keep doing this, Ryan? Why do you keep letting us catch you in lies? Why can't you just stop talking? Why can't you go off with your family like Justin's doing and let this all air out in the courts? You can't. So why did you do all of this? I can't. I'm so frustrated. I liked you, Ryan. I still want to like you. I keep praying that you've been tricked by your wife and you're in a tricky situation and that's all this was. But guys, it is brutal when you really go this. You wanted to make him write this statement, blaming all of the bad publicity on him. And you've seemingly come out and convinced this. This is the statement. I mean, we've done a video of this before, but we've done a video of all these. This is the statement that Ryan drafted, that he demanded James and Justin post, which would have completely torched their career. And I want you to look at it again. It ends with us was a troubled production we take full responsibility for. Nonsense. I've talked to dozens of crew members. That's a lie, Ryan. That's an absolute lie. Plus, your own wife said it was smooth sailing in the second half of production. And the movie was a big hit. Whether you want to let Blake take all the credit, I know you do, Justin had a lot to do with it as well. So says the crew. So nice try rewriting the history there, Ryan. That's a lie. It's a downright lie. We are very sorry to everyone we caused upset to privately publicly. Who else is complaining but Blake? No one else is complaining but Blake. We mutually agreed that the cast would be promoting the film separately. I don't believe that either. That's also a lie. And understood why. We have always said we are not perfect and even unintentionally make mistakes. We will always own them. We hold ourselves accountable. It's not anyone's job but ours. That's part of being man enough. Look at you again, now just really trying to shank him as you're doing all this. We will practice what we preach. We are learning and growing from the experience, and we thank everyone for their patience and as we find a better way to proceed. We are very proud of the film and the welcome arms that it's been received. Part of our work is to have uncomfortable conversations for public growth. The film is doing that on screen, and we are doing that off screen. Thank you for the cast and crew, for the opportunity to be imperfect, and for giving the space to learn and grow with humanity and dedication. Like, what? What on earth planet would anyone agree to this vague generalization that would have torched their careers? What are they apologizing for? As you go through reps from Sony, everyone's like, what? No, you cannot sign this. This would be career suicide. And what are you apologizing for? And that's not the only one, is it? Let's go back to TJ Miller.
I think some people...
Do you know he hates
We
you?
had a really weird moment really weird moment on Deadpool where he said, let's do one more take. And everyone was like, okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And then as the character, he was like horrifically mean to me, but to me.
Cathartic.
But as if I'm Weasel.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So he was like, you know what's great about you, Weasel? You're not the star, but you just, you do just enough exposition that it's funny, and then we can leave and get back to the real movie.
So he's riffing.
Well, he's
here.
right.
Obviously.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's exactly why he said that.
How much riffing?
Because I'm not funnier than he is at all, right? And I haven't been in more movies than him. Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
agitate the guest, Brian. How much riffing was done?
A lot.
So
And
he literally goes on. He also says,
and Michael Bay worked on a movie with Ryan Reynolds also. And so he has a very specific opinion.
That may mirror
of
your
Ryan
own.
Reynolds. And that was a good part of our last conversation with me and Bay. But
so lots of conversations have been had.
or he's so deluded that he's like, everybody loves me. Everybody likes me. So TJ probably just wishes that he could work with me again. Bay's like that too, though. Wahlberg talked to me about that, who Bay would never understand why you wouldn't want to work with him.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't make sense. Everybody wants to work with him. And that's also kind of true. So
Delusional is what he's basically calling him. Now, when that went viral, Ryan Reynolds immediately picked up the phone and somehow got TJ Miller to recant. Oh no, we're now good friends. And previously saying he would never come back to a Deadpool film. Now he says he would love to. It would be awesome. So Ryan has this ability to go back. Director Tim Miller, also same thing. Tim Miller, who directed the original Deadpool and was a huge part of that movie, just got completely thrown in the bus, not involved in any of the future films. Ryan took the lead, took the reins. And then Tim had a lot of not very nice things to say about Ryan. Later on, Ryan, as he became the big guy, went back and again got Tim Miller to seemingly let go and recant. Everybody, somehow after these experiences, Ryan does do his nice Canadian thing. But even just in the movies themselves, you lie. You do punch down.
I learned what Wesley says in the film.
There's only been one blade. There's only ever going to be one blade.
That's from Deadpool Wolverine. There's only been one blade. There's only ever going to be one blade. But the problem was there was another Blade movie in the works.
This was a script co-written by Ryan Reynolds. If he didn't write that line himself, he certainly approved it. And Deadpool staring down the camera after Blade says that line certainly implies that Deadpool agrees.
Deadpool never punches down. Never. He's really the only person he punches down on is me, Ryan Reynolds. Not no one else.
How is that not Deadpool punching down on Mahershala Ali? How? Then on Monday when Ryan lifted...
It is. It absolutely is. Now, granted, nobody really wanted that movie. I'll agree. But Ryan Reynolds will punch down when he thinks it's okay. He'll do a joke that's at the expense of someone if he deems them to be, worthy of it. That's what he decides. And so, look, I'm not even trying to be a critic here to say, no, be nice to everybody, Ryan. That's not what it's about. But you're a hypocrite is what you are. You are a hypocrite, and you keep getting exposed and allowing us to expose you for this person that, look, we all are flawed. We are human. I don't have an issue with some of these problems if you just owned it and you stopped going out there trying to vilify Justin Baldoni, calling him thin-skinned and all this nonsense. Dude, what you've done to him has destroyed his life. You have attempted to destroy his life. And if he didn't have a billionaire backer, he'd be toast. And everyone would have called, and myself included probably, we all would have called this dude some weird creep. And the truth is I'm really digging deep to learn more about this guy in our documentary, which we're still doing, which you guys can invest in. Please consider investing over in our store. I'll put the merch there, get the investor pack, etc. What I'm learning from people who have worked with him, who aren't even that close, but just experienced working with him, he is not the guy you're painting him to be. And a lot of people are very sort of insecure around him because he's almost too nice. It's a weird common theme I've heard about this. So, yeah, you did mock him. You've definitely punched down more times than I had time in this video. Let me know what I missed in the comments down below, folks. But that's the problem here. You go out and do these podcast appearances, and I just get more and more frustrated with you because you're not addressing the elephant in the room, and you two set this all up. You're the one making these accusations and saying owning them, so prove them, and stop going out and doing podcasts playing like it's not a big issue. Constantly, comments need to be turned down on all your posts. Meanwhile, Justin's posting free as a dove. You got to. And then when Conan turns the comments on, it's a lot of comments. Congrats on your little bump. Congrats for leaving the comments on. So it's the fact that Ryan and Blake's still working and Justin can't show how much famous people feel about the situation. Hollywood babies, bullies, and criminals always. When he's not on his own self-contained place, yeah, people aren't happy with him. And that speaks volumes, Ryan. You got to address it. You can't keep just ignoring it and going to friendly spaces like this and doing it. Something's off here. I don't know what. And I keep hoping you'll clue us in and maybe you'll wake up. One can hope, right? But in the meanwhile, all you can do is hit that subscribe button for our coverage, hit that bell for all alerts, smash that thumbs up as well, and leave your comments down below. I don't like piling on. I wish he'd come clean and just say I was wrong. It was a misunderstanding. We apologize, Justin. You did a good movie. It looks like, my God, I'd be so happy. That's all we're looking for, man. That's all I'm looking for. Let the man go do his own thing. You never have to work with him again. But let him do his own thing and finally address what you two have done. Is that too much to ask for? Stay tuned. Our Diddy coverage will be on later tonight. Every night we'll be here. I hope you'll catch our recaps. Check them out. A lot is going on, and it's important we talk about it.